Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back for another episode of the Gamestate podcast. And if you're new here to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss one of these, baby. As always, we got Tuneablepower back with us this week. Love to see it. I'm back this week. I wasn't here last week. You hate to see it. And we've got our usual mate Wrecked with us. Unfortunately, this week, one of us is missing once again, and it's not Mario. It is Grease Monkey Gamer. He is at TwitchCon this week. I'm sure next week he'll have lots to talk about. I'm sure he's having a lot of fun down at TwitchCon. But we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to do your This Day in Gaming. We got some big releases that came out at the end of this week. We had Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, the new Sonic Superstars. We're going to talk a little bit about those. We got some Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and rumors. I'd like to think they're going to call it the Super Switch, but you know, that's just high hopes. We're going to do another Halloween themed play it or throw it away. You know, some of our favorite and, you know, horrible horror games. We'll play them or throw them away. Then Diablo 4 Season 2 has been out for, you know, a few days now. You know, they had their campfire chats, the updates, new stuff. We're going to talk about that, give our opinions and what we think. And then, as always, we'll have your game deals of the week. So let's get started. On this day in gaming, guys. On this day in gaming. October.
Let's hear it.
October 23rd. In 1988. Now, this is a big one. And it's kind of convenient that Wonder came out on the same day. Super Mario 3 was released on the NES in Japan.
I mean, what more can you say about Mario 3? How many times have we beat it in our life?
Coincidence or not that's when they decided to release Wonder?
They did that on purpose.
They had
it's
to.
Nintendo. There's no coincidence with Nintendo.
They're like, it's the Mario 3 anniversary. Let's put Wonder out.
No, absolutely.
By the way,
Hey.
Tuneablepower has been playing Mario Wonder and Sonic Superstars. He'll have some things to say about that later. In 1997, we're skipping ahead 9 years here. There wasn't a whole lot today. I had to, you know, be a little picky and choosy. 1997, Madden Football 64 was released on the N64. This was the first. This was the first polygonal football game. All the others were sprite based.
Yeah.
So
football.
Mate,
I don't think I ever played that one.
we can never get Mate to stop talking about football, so we're gonna stop right here. Once we get into the football, he doesn't. We can't get him off of it. So,
Brown ball.
all right, moving on. 2001, 4 years later, Grand Theft Auto 3 was released on the PS2 in the US.
What a banger!
What
a banger that is.
Love that game.
That was the future as far as Grand Theft Auto goes, man.
Yeah.
The whole difference in the way the game played, man. It was amazing.
Instead of top down, it was a full immersive world, and you're like, what?
Yeah. I think everybody can agree that was one of the best games on the PS2.
it definitely was.
Yeah.
Vice City was the best, but we'll go.
Yeah, I love Vice City too. Here's one for that me and Mate are gonna love. Tunable probably didn't ever play this one. 2003, Naruto Ultimate Ninja. The first one was released on PS2 in Japan. So that was like the original release of it before it came to the States.
I beat that game 5 times already. I'm full of shit.
Yeah. All right, 2013. Here's a cool one. Speaking of Diablo and ARPGs, Path of Exile was released in 2013 on Windows worldwide.
Still going strong, baby.
Exactly 10 years ago today. That's crazy. And then moving on, this is the last one, guys. 2018, the download release for the beta of Fallout 76 was released worldwide. And boy, oh boy, was that a great game. Woo! But you know,
not bad now.
No, yeah, they worked on it constantly, like Bethesda does all their games. Till it was
It's a work in progress. like Diablo, man. It's a work in progress.
They really are. But yeah, that's it for On This Day in Gaming, guys. And once again, if you're new here, do not forget to like and subscribe. Click that little noti bell. We're back every Monday at 8 a.m. Moving on. So big releases this week, guys. What one should we talk about first? We had Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Wonder, and Sonic Superstars.
I feel like we all have a individual view towards each game.
Yeah.
Roll the wheel.
Let's start it off with the Spider-Man 2, since that's the only one that's on a different console, I guess. Spider-Man 2, guys, is getting fairly good reviews across the board. Granted, most of them are critics. User reviews are not out yet, but it's getting 8 to 9s, and even on Metacritic, it got a 91. So, and everything I've read so far, very positive.
Yeah, I would expect. I mean, coming from Insomniac, again, they are a developer that has made quite the name for themselves since, even prior to the Spider-Man releases. They've been really well with the games that they produce. They know what they're doing with the game.
They have a formula that works. It's like the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah. You are getting like a really good version of Spider-Man going forward. I think that as far as the game itself plays out, the story itself is the biggest pull to it. Like, again, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you are getting a unique story that involves a ton of different villains. You're getting all the, the love of both the Spider-Man remake and the Miles Morales. Getting all the awesome gameplay mechanics that come from each individual Spider-Man, and they're building on top of it by adding to each again, and things that, like, as a whole for both of them play well to their advantages.
And we get Venom.
And it'd be great. And you get Venom. What could you ask for? What more
I don't even care about Spider-Man anymore. I just want Venom. Give me a Venom game. Give me a game that's Venom.
Venom's the best. I love Venom.
Disagree.
I'll play the shit out of that.
If I owned a PS5, I would. But unfortunately.
But you gotta say, man, Spider-Man 2, they got the formula. It's tried and true. All they had to do was just add stuff to it, and they did. Yeah. I have no doubt that it's a fun, awesome game. Yeah, I'm gonna play when it comes to PC, and
I mean, visually, the game is beautiful. Like,
it's beautiful.
It's very like aesthetically pleasing. Like it. And it has that same combat style and stuff. Like they didn't change what worked. They stuck with what worked and just gave us a better story, more content, more things to do. It's gonna
bring up a good point.
Like I said, it reminds me of the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games. Like they took like that the combat and stuff from the first game. They're like, all right, this works. Let's keep that and just evolve upon it. And that's kind of what these games have done.
I think that the biggest fault of this game is kind of what you just said. Again, it's a lot like the Arkham games, but the biggest difference between the Arkham games is that they take what's wrong about it and they try to fix it. With Spider-Man, they try to add more so you forget less about what's not great about it, and it's still there is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
True.
And the Arkham games got like a different thing. Like one, you're in the prison. One, you're out here. This one's just New York City. That's it. Like there's no.
You do get Brooklyn, and you get the other side of Manhattan. So there is more space in itself, but the same problem lies that Arkham takes advantage of. Just because there's more space doesn't necessarily mean there's more to do. It just means there's more space.
Starfield.
Endless nothingness. Believe me, I put fucking 60 hours into it. Beat it. And it is a lot of fucking nothingness.
And I think that's a good point right there, right? Like, again, if you have all the space, I mean, it can look as beautiful as you want, but if you're not really doing much with it, it leads you to a point where it's like after you beat the main story, maybe some of the side quests that have some significance to you, that's it. Game's done. Move on.
Yeah, even No Man's Sky had that problem upon release. Like, it was just a whole bunch of big planets to explore with pretty much nothing on them.
Yeah, I mean, I put my time in. I had fun playing it. I'm done with it. I'm back to Destiny now.
But yeah,
Moving on.
But like we said, Spider-Man 2, it's a good game from what I've seen so far. So,
yeah,
I think
I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play it.
It takes advantage of the PS5 hardware significantly.
Yes.
The fact that there's no loading screens, like you can fast travel and like you pinpoint on the map. There's no, like in other games, you get the specific points of interest where you zap in on that one area. This one, you can go anywhere you want and fast travel instantaneously. That's a pretty cool feature.
Right.
I will give it that. Like it's again, they're doing real good with their NVMe or SSD drive, whatever they're using on the PS5. Yeah. But again, it works well.
Definitely not a loading game simulator.
It's nice.
But let's move on to the new big Switch releases. We had Mario Wonder and Sonic Superstars.
Well, Sonic's on everything. It's on everything.
It's
you can
true.
Get Sonic on Xbox and PlayStation and PC.
But
Mario. We'll move on to Mario, guys. I've been playing it. And I'm not going to lie. They took everything that you loved from the classic 2D Mario, the mechanics and everything, and just implanted it into this beautiful 2.5D atmosphere. And oh man, it feels good. Like everything is just spot on. Your platforming is spot on. The upgrade you get with the elephant is ridiculously fun. The elephant.
What all does the elephant do? I'm still curious about that.
All right, so the elephant, I mean, the only thing really, you can trunk the people. You can use your trunk to hit enemies, and then you can get on top of water and fill your trunk up. And there's stuff on the map that you can water, and it throws like the coins out that you use for currency to buy stuff in the game. And you can also hit enemies with that water too. But you still have as of right now, I'm in World 2. I've gotten Firepower and Elephant so far, and that's it. But what really makes this game different from any other Mario game is that flower.
The power.
Oh my god, dude. So what this flower is it's kind of like you got to do a speed run, a little speed run challenge. You got a time limit to make it through this speed run challenge thing of like I was running on top of rhinoceroses that were doing this in the air, and you got to get the seed at the end.
Ah.
And that's how you get seeds. The seeds is how you unlock the boss battles and all that stuff. And not just that, you got badges now. So your badges you collect are your power-ups, and you have to choose which one you want to use for each stage to collect those seeds. So you got a little strategy you got to do. And you go out and it's replayability. So you'll beat the stage like, damn, I need that stamp. So you'll have to go back
and beat it with that stamp.
With that stamp. So it's got like full replayability on the maps and stuff. It's fucking phenomenal. It's my game of the year now already. World 2. It already is more fun and more engaging to me than Tears of the Kingdom. I will play this until I beat it. No lie, I won't stop. I will play this and 100% it before I play anything else. It's that good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it here later on this year. I'm not sure when yet, but I definitely want to play it. Like if I didn't work today, I wanted to drive to GameStop and play the demo.
I think that's an interesting aspect of Mario is that again you never really get like the same thing from any Mario title. They tend to reinvent the wheel as much as they can with each game, right? Like again, when you take a look at like Mario to Mario 2, significant difference. Mario 2 to 3, significant difference again. The power-ups, the abilities you get from each game, and contextually, again, when you look at the Wonder now, again, like you said, you get the seeds and you get these badges that offer replayability, which you don't tend to get a lot out of Mario games. Like once you beat a level and you understand like what's done with it, like you're okay, I'll go move on to the next level, or I'll find the secrets they bring me forward in the game. But now there's a reason to go back, get unlockables, and have different ways to play the game. So again, Nintendo does away with Mario that just doesn't get seen from other like side-scrolling platformers like that. It's awesome. I think that with Wonder and their reinventing of, again, whether it be visual or gameplay mechanics or replayability in this case now, they just really do well.
It's nice to see him go back to the 2D side scrolling Mario too, and get away from like all the 3D top down, 3D-ish Mario games they've been making lately. It's nice to see him get back to that old school 2D fucking make your way through.
The game also has Donkey Kong. You can go from like the front screen to the back screen.
Yeah.
See, that's part of part of the puzzles in this thing, the secrets in this too. Like this game is full of secrets I've been finding, man. Like you bounce on this one thing and this one spot, I didn't even know it was there, and I bounced up and it shot me into the sky, and I went to this freaking side mission thing to collect one of the seeds, and I was like, what the fuck did I figure? Like, how did I stumble across this? And then I threw it through a tunnel, and it took me into the back part of the map, and I got a seed back there. Then came back. This game is fucking. I see why it took them so long to make a new Mario game. That's because they made a fucking masterpiece right here, dude. It is. Oh god.
That's always one of my favorite part about any new Mario game is finding all the little secrets and things. Like even like with the 3D ones, Galaxy even like. I didn't leave the first world till I had almost every star I could possibly get on that first fucking world. Or moon. They were moons. My bad. I had like almost enough moons to go to the third planet by the time I left the first one. Fucking love that game. But yeah, I can't wait to play Wonder. It looks like an amazing game. And I've heard it has like 100 some levels on it.
That's good. And you could pick what you could, and that's another thing. You could choose what level you play in order. Like you can, they put World 2 sitting there, and you just beat any stage you want. You just walk to any one you want to play, go back to it. You get stuff, and then a little thing pops up for another stage. And I'm like, what the hell's another stage came out of the ground? It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah, we got Mario Wonder, guys. Definitely, it's out now. So if you want to check out, I actually saw some people streaming it today when I was going through my list on Twitch while I was at work. I was like, shit, kind of want to watch this. But it's so loud at my work, I couldn't hear anything anyways. So I just, I watched for a few minutes and then turned it off. But we also got Sonic Superstars today. Another great, a new Sonic game. And Sonic games can be kind of hit or miss. We don't know if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. What do you think, Toon? Is this one good?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. Take yourself back to the 1992-3 when Sonic came out. And that first feeling, and those mechanics of that speed and platforming, that's what they did again right here. It feels just like old school Sonic with new 2.5D graphics. It is phenomenal. I've only played a little bit of this. My son was playing it, and I helped him beat a couple of bosses in it. But the boss battles in this game are some intricate stuff now. Like, there's different stages of the boss. Like, this one had 3 phases that you had to go to. And and then you got like this one is like chasing you. This one boss battle is like you have to speed run this stage while this boss is chasing you, shooting lasers and rockets, and you're platforming and trying to speed run past him. It feels great. Graphics are freaking amazing. It's as far as I got into it. As what I played right now, I almost switched to playing it instead of Mario because it felt so good, and it's like I wanted to have 2 switches doing this right here.
That was something I liked whenever I saw like the release trailers and shit for it. I was like, oh, it's nice to see a 2D Sonic game with that like fresh coat of paint, like that modernized look to it.
It's great, dude. It's great.
Did you play
it? And you also get all the characters too.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I was just about to ask that.
You got Knuckles, you got Amy, and you got Tails. You can play as for. And going back to Mario, you could play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Nabbit, Yoshi, all like 4 different colors of Yoshi, whatever damn color you want. All kinds of characters in Mario.
Did you happen to try out any of the other characters on Sonic?
Like I said, the only thing I played on Sonic was beating a couple little parts for Nixon. And I haven't really dived into it, man. Like I'm sitting there like Mario has me so engaged. But then I started playing that, and I was engaged, and I was like, I got to choose one, or I'm going to get screwed up and not finish either one of them. So this took me... Priorities.
It happens to the best of us. You know how many games I'd pick up, play like 6 or 7 hours of it, and then a new game comes out, I buy that, and then I never go back and play the other game.
Especially this year. Look at the games that came out this year, man. I mean, Jesus
It's
God.
definitely an easy year for that to happen.
Stacked.
Like, I still gotta go back and beat Liza P, man. I gotta go back and finish it. I was like, I want to finish it.
I haven't finished it yet either. I'm close. I'm probably like 75% of the way through it.
I'm probably like 50%. I'm like way away.
But
I think it's again like pretty good for Sega, considering again because of all the hit or miss with Sonic. Again, to have a game that comes out and as far as reception across the community of players and the critics, like it didn't negatively impact the game title, right? Like everybody across the board is saying, you know, like no, it's not a perfect game, but it's a game that's still better than you were expecting when you were like going in from other Sonic titles. Like if you take a look at Sonic Frontiers, there's a lot offered on the marketing side of that it was going to be like an amazing title, and you know, in the front end of it, maybe not so much. As they've added on to it, now it's got a lot to it. But at least with this title, when you get into it, you know you're getting again a mix of characters. You're getting a mix of different levels. You're getting a mix of boss battles that don't have the exact same function every single time. You're getting a pretty good experience out of a Sonic game, and realistically, I mean, like you really can't ask for too much from a Sonic game. So appreciate the fact that you're getting something that you can go back and play again a couple of times and still enjoy.
It brings up 2 points for me. Like one is like I said for Mario, it's nice to see Sonic come back with a nice 2D game, side scroller with a new fresh coat of paint to modernize it, make it, you know, everything is visually more aesthetically pleasing for this day and age. And I'm going to compare it to something that's kind of off the wall. Metroid, the Metroid Prime games come out and everybody got spoiled with that 3D Metroid adventure. And lately we've gotten a lot of 3D Sonic games. And whenever they released Dread, everyone was like, oh, I don't want it to go back to this 2D style. Well, guess what? That's what made Metroid so popular in the beginning, was the 2D Metroid. Same for Sonic. I mean, that's why
Sonic's best in 2D, man. It's best.
Yeah, most of the Sonic games most of the best ones were the 2D ones.
Yeah, like Sonic Mania is. I got to dive more into Superstars, but as what Superstars feels like, it's going to give Sonic Mania a run for its money for the best Sonic game ever made. As of right now, Sonic Mania is still the best Sonic game ever made.
Now you still got to pump some hours into this one yet before you decide on that.
I got a lot of hours into it, man.
Yeah, I guess there's replayability on the new Sonic 2 with the new characters, because I guess because certain areas are only going to be accessible to certain characters.
Yeah, well, just not that. When you're speed running it, when I was helping him out, I was missing all kinds of different ways to go in the map. So I'll probably go through it like 4 or 5 times just to play everything.
Yeah, that's another big release, Sonic Super. That's crazy. Like this was a big, week/weekend for gaming. Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, Sonic Superstars. And we're like, what? It's the 23rd of October. We're less than a month away from Mario RPG remake.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Again, more titles coming out already. This year has been absolutely like madness for gaming.
It is. It is, man.
It really is. It's insane how many great games come out this year. And we're not even done. We still got like a quarter of the year to go.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. I mean, you got 3 bangers like that come out in like a week period. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and all in the same weekend. That's insane.
It's insanity.
But yeah, that's crazy. 3 huge games, guys. Spider-Man 2, Wonder, and Superstars. And once again, guys, if you're new here to the channel and you're enjoying the podcast so far, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that noti bell. Catch us every Monday at 8 a.m. the Gamestate podcast. We're gonna do a little bit of leaks and rumors here. Nintendo Switch 2, or what I'm hoping they call the Super Switch, it's got some new leaks and rumors out. One is more of a leak and not a rumor, and the other one's more of a rumor and maybe a leak. So the first one is the fact that they may be releasing it kind of like the PlayStation and Xbox do, where there's going to be a digital only version of the console and a version of the console that's digital and takes cartridges, with the digital one being cheaper. So that's the first one. And I could see that being a thing. I could see it being a thing 100%.
I mean, Xbox and PlayStation are already doing it, so why not jump on that ship? So,
and I mean, technically, Nintendo
sales, right?
Did the I never had one, and this is gonna be stupid. Did the Switch lights have a cartridge?
Yeah, they do. They got a cartridge slot. Yeah,
I thought they did, but yeah, with the new hardware in the Switch and all that, who knows what it's gonna cost? I think having the digital only one, it's actually a really good idea.
I mean, everything's going digital anyway. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
How many games do you physically buy anymore?
Rarely any, honestly.
Yeah. I had this conversation last week on the podcast. Again, I still see the advantageous points of having physicals, but again, the digital world is at a point now where, again, it's just ease of access, and the fact that, you know, you can get so many titles for free from digital game stores.
I mean, when you compare the gaming to other entertainment like music or movies, when's the last time you went to the store and bought a DVD? When's the last time you went to the store and bought a music album? No,
music album, never. Yes, Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna happen to gaming eventually. Like, it might not be this generation, it might not even be the next generation of consoles, but we're getting to a point where it is going to be all digital at some point.
Yeah, it is. But they need to make it like where you could trade in your digital copy. I get like some sort of like.
But you know, it's funny though.
Oh, I don't know.
I think out of the, you know, all the companies that produce gaming and entertainment like that, I think Nintendo's going to be the last one to die on that hill.
Oh yeah, oh man,
They're
going to keep making cartridges till the damn dinosaurs return, right?
It's going to be 2030, and we're still going to have cartridges for Nintendo.
No, you damn straight you are.
Either that, or they'll just fucking download them to like a little cell in your fingertip, and you'll just touch your fucking Nintendo Switch 5 and be able to play it.
No, Nintendo's them lifespan of their consoles, it'll be the Switch 3. What are you talking about?
You're not wrong. And it won't even be out yet. It'll be like leaks and rumors.
Yeah, leaks and rumors in 2030.
But excuse me, guys. I've been sick all week. I'm dying. My bad. The other leak we have, which is more of a rumor than a leak, was leaked from someone on Twitter that I'm not going to name on the podcast. But this guy has made predictions and leaked stuff before and has been surprisingly very accurate with a lot of his leaks and stuff he posts. Apparently, the new Switch is going to have ray tracing with DLSS 3.5, which is kind of crazy.
That is insane.
Like that means it's going to have as good, if not better, ray tracing than the PS5 and the Series X. Anything you can do on your PC. And if it has the DLSS 3.5 chipset inside of the actual console itself, that stuff is upgradable. Like, you can constantly upgrade that. So that'll keep it in the long run of the market where it won't fall behind like the Switch did.
I mean, they got to compete with the Steam Deck and put something out comparable. So, you know, this is the way. I mean, it's probably going to come with a hefty price tag, but just think of having that in your hand playing the new Zelda.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, with
my God.
With that, you'll be able to excuse me. You'll be able to play games at a way higher resolution. And
well, that's the thing about DLS 3. Like, again, it offers what they call frame generation. So they predictively put forward frames so that the again, the frame rate itself, while it may not actually sit at 60 frames or 144 frames or whatever you might play at, it can predict the future frames, so that way it adjusts your frame rate even if it's, again, struggling to keep up. It will predict the future frame so that it still smooths out the animation in between, so you're not getting that jagged movement that you would get in previous titles. The fact that they're, again, stating that this is going to be something brought into a Nintendo device offers, again, when we look at resolution, when we look at frame rate, when we look at texture quality, all of these things are things that have been, again, discussed on the initial Switch as being
lacking,
whether you consider it a lacking or failure of, to bring it to a degree to which, again, like the Series X or the PS5 are currently sitting at, or the Steam Deck, if you're looking at, a portable solution, much like I assume the Super Switch will end up being. But
it's catching on, guys. It's catching on.
Have something of that much power.
Hashtag Super Switch.
Hashtag Super Switch. But imagine, again, your future Zelda titles, your future Metroid titles, and all the other games that have been released in the past that can be then upscaled to have a better quality of life. Again, there's a lot of games that came out on the Switch that struggled hard or had texture issues, and if they were just to leave a next gen upgrade that you don't necessarily got to pay for because you can bring your title over, then man, you are offering a absolutely colossal amount of people that are going to switch over to the Switch, to the
100%,
to the Switch 2 or whatever.
Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Get those games running at 60. Holy shit! Even
God bless.
Not even just 60, but again, imagine
even higher. It's incredible. That could be game changing for Nintendo.
I think they're gonna call it the Wii Switch.
The Wii Switch. No. See, I was thinking like when they went from like the Nintendo NES to the Super Nintendo, they didn't call it the NES 2. So I'm thinking it's going to be the Nintendo Switch, and instead of the Nintendo Switch, they'll just call it the Super Switch.
I hope that's what they call it. The Super Switch sounds so badass.
The Super Nintendo Switch. That would be such a callback to like the old, Nintendo. Like that.
They'll
call it something real dumb though. Wait and see. It'll be like the fucking Nebulous or something. Who knows?
Jeez.
Instead of the Switch, it'll be a reciprocating device. So it'll be the reciprocate.
Yeah. Hashtag Super Switch, guys. Let's get that trending. Let's get that out to Nintendo. That's what we want it to be named.
I actually like that name myself. I think it is a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. Genius. If it was my company, that's what I'd call it. But it's not my company. Should be.
Just go buy Nintendo next.
All right. I'm saving up now, guys. I'm coming for Nintendo. All right, guys, we're going to get into this week's fun little segment of Play It or Throw It Away. And once again, guys, all month long, we've been doing horror games for the spooky month of October. Halloween's like a little over a week and a half away. We're almost there. It's almost spooky day.
It is almost spooky day.
So let's see, let's spin that wheel, see what we get here, and play these bad boys or throw them in the trash. And once again, guys, if you're enjoying the podcast, hit that sub button, hit that like button. Don't worry, we'll wait. Go
ahead and hit it. Hurry up. Let's go.
Right. You guys hit it yet? Yeah, I'm sure they had enough time to hit the sub button by now. All right. Halloween, play it or throw it away. Let's go.
First game of today, we have Fear. Initial release.
I never played all the way through that, but I did play a little bit of it.
Man, I love these games. Mm-hmm. Again, like, it's not so much like your atypical horror title. Like, again, it is like a shooter. Yeah. But there is a lot of points of thriller and anticipation of like the next scary jump scare moment that does kind of catch you by surprise. There's like a lot of like awareness of the danger that you're going into because they like to lead it up. It's not so much always a jump scare. There's like a really droning soundtrack that kind of leads
anticipation
into these moments. Yeah, the anticipation is great. And I forget what Elma. That's the main antagonist of this story. The little girl who's again like this like apparition at times, also like just this angry entity that you're kind of like trying to hunt down, and you want to like you're supposed to be like again initially killing, but as you're getting through the rest of the story, you're realizing maybe she's not she's not the bad person. You find out we're the bad people, and she's kind of just fighting against us for being like such shit. And again, that like ends up carrying over into Fear 2. Great, again, first-person shooter as far as shooting titles go. Had a pretty good gunplay mechanic system to it. You also get all these cool supernatural abilities. Super cool, except for the part where she gets pregnant. That's not cool.
All right, guys, this is Slash. He's my puppy. He wants to be on the podcast. But I'm going to go ahead and play this one. It's hard for me to hit that play button on this one because I'm not a big fan of shooters to begin with. But I do remember playing it. Just never finished it. I don't remember much. But I think I would go back and try it.
Yeah, I'm going to play this one. Like, I don't remember much of it. And it wasn't like you could freeze time in this one.
Something like that, yeah.
Bullet time.
It's been almost like,
yeah,
I don't know, 12, 15 years, maybe more since I played it. It's been a while.
Yeah, between that and the psychological part of it is what I really liked about the game. And the storyline was good too. But I'm playing it. I'll go back and play it.
I would also play it. It's just, again, like an all-around, like, pretty good title, especially if you're a fan of, like, again, horror games and Call of Duty. You can just get the best of both worlds and have your way. And it's not a very long title either. You could probably finish it in, I think, like 3 or 4 hours. So you could easily just smash through it and be like, wow, that was great. I love Halloween. Next.
And our next game will be.
So, wheel is spinning. Sorry. We have got the one, the only, Dead Space.
All right. This game is so fucking good. I've played through this one 3 or 4 times. Still scares shit out of me a little bit sometimes. Like, I don't know, it's the ambience of the game. Like, you think you killed everything, but you can still hear something like climbing around on a wall somewhere, but it's dark and like certain enemies, you have to have a certain attachment or weapon to. Oh, and it's 100%. That game is fucking hard. Not an easy game to 100%. That game, yeah, it's one of those games like you beat it and you're like a month later, you're like, I want to go through it again. And I think out of all the Dead Space games, I think it was the best one. I played Dead Space 2. I don't think I played the other one, but I like it better than 2. I think
one's best.
Yeah, there's just something about that first one that just hit. And I think it was the ambience and the darker, that super dark tone, and it I guess it just being a new IP altogether that made it special, I guess. But yeah, I play it. I'd still play it, and whenever this remake comes out, I'm probably gonna play it. Play it. I'm gonna play it. Like and subscribe, guys. Then go play Dead Space.
Next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it. And, yeah, I just like the way the game, like the mechanics in the game are just like off the wall shit and like scary as hell. It's just like the whole ambience of the fucking game is just like just scary. Period. You're in this ship, and it's just like, what's going to come around this corner, and I'm not going to be able to kill it because I don't have the right stuff. And yeah, it's been so long though. I can't remember much of it. I play so many goddamn games.
Oh, then you're gonna have so much fun when you play the remake, because
it is.
The first playthrough of that game was the funnest one.
I mean, I'm sure it'll come back to me when I play it. Everything will start coming back, and I'm like, oh.
So I have two opinions on this game. One is the initial and one is the remake. The initial, as far as like the release time and the fact that like it offered so much of like this almost Doom 3-esque atmosphere. Again, you go through these like flashing light hallways and like again, like you're like kind of going down it and you can see some stuff at times and then it like the lights cut out completely. And you're like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh
But you can still hear shit.
You can still hear it with great clarity. Going through that for your first time is absolutely terrifying because again, like you don't know. That's the biggest thing about Dead Space is that you just don't know.
Yep.
You could turn around and you thought you killed everything and then something pops down through the vent and then it starts coming at you and then you have something coming around from the other vent in front of you and you're like, okay, well, pick your poison. Who's dying first? Because it's not going to be me, baby.
Yeah.
Turn around, blow off the arm of something, but it's still, like, lopping towards you. And, like, again, it is a very gruesome game with a really good contextual system towards, like,
the mechanics of it.
How yeah. You get to build up your guns by getting extra upgrades towards each item and trying to figure out maybe which is going to work best at this time in the game and what will work better later on, or can I sacrifice this for something later on.
Even the
first playthrough,
even the boss fights had fun little things you had to do to beat the boss that you had to figure out before you could even do damage to most of them.
So when you're going through that, like for your first time, it really is like this amazing experience. Now, when we compare it again to the remake, that is, again, for folks that if you don't know, it will be free on Xbox Live as the end of this month. So go ahead and definitely check it out if you have not played it. But they offered a couple of different things in regards to script differences that did change the game a little bit. I don't normally like when companies do this unless it's for creative measure to add more instead of taking it away. Again, so that's a bit of a takeaway for me, but the biggest thing about the remake that does make it something even bigger is the fact that they have like a hell difficulty where it's permadeath. So if you get halfway through the game and unlike the initial game, like there is a point where if you kill everything in that room, there will stop a point where things will stop coming at you. In the remake, they're auto-regenerative. They will come back to life and get you, or things will pop in when you're not paying attention. So you're like, all right, I killed everything. I'm going to go for a piss break. And you go out, you come back.
You're dead.
Isaac's dead. And you're like, this is a permadeath mode. And you're starting the game over, just like Diablo, man. Hardcore mode fans are going to hate and absolutely love this game. You got to make sure you watch yourself every single corner.
Yeah,
Play every day.
Play it.
Bum, 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 bum. All right, we got ourselves Phasmophobia.
That one hurts.
Hot take here for all you Phasmophobia fans, but you could throw that right in the dumpster fire. I think the game looks absolutely horrific. No fun at all. And I would rather go play fucking Jump King. And that says a lot. Have a great day.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I wouldn't say it's that bad, but
I'm just kidding. I would not rather play Jump King than that. But it does not look fun. I've watched so many streamers play it, and every time I'm just like, how do y'all sit here and play this for hours at a time? I would already cut this off and just played something else. Stay away from me.
It's one of those games that just, I don't know, it doesn't really have any appeal to what I look for in a video game. Like, especially a horror video game. Like, I'm more of like an action adventure, like have, not just figure out what kind of ghost it is. Like, I want like a story, a fucking, something to do that is actually meaningful, that progresses me through a game other than just trying to, it's kind of like, we just talked about another game that was like this not too long ago that we didn't like, Dead by Daylight. You're just doing the same thing effectively every time. And there's really no reason to keep doing it after you've done it maybe 2 or 3 times. It's like, all right, that's cool. I'll never play this again. That's all this game is. And that's why I'm also going to drive down to North Carolina and we're just going to I'll bring some pallets from work We'll throw them all in a giant dumpster. We'll light that bitch on fire, and we'll just get every copy from Walmart, and we'll just throw them all in there.
Damn, boys, you guys really threw flames to the, the gas here and just blew it up.
We don't like
You mind if I do the
phasmophobia.
same?
Yeah, go ahead. But before you do, like and subscribe, and then throw your copy of Phasmophobia away.
I think this is like one of those weird titles where it's like kind of like it has the same idea as like Among Us, right? With Among Us, again, it's like the community title where you're gonna have some of your friends join you and you guys are like doing the scary thing together. But like as far as Phasmophobia goes and the gameplay mechanics and the overall like ideal of what you're doing, it just doesn't leave much to the imagination. Like you said, again, like, yeah, you might get some different devices that help you capture different specters or ghosts or demons or whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, as a guy who absolutely fucking hated Ghost Hunters and their fake-ass bullshit TV show, this hits the same level of go fuck yourself to me. Because it's just like, no offense to anybody that does enjoy this game. I mean, I'm sure you guys enjoy it for like your community, or you enjoy it for like what it brings you as far as like, Twitch chat and stuff.
It's
and
a
reaction.
It's a funny Twitch clip generator. That's what that game is.
Like, you're not gonna go play this game solo, because if you were playing this game solo, you would be bored in 15 minutes. Like, again, like, what are you gonna do? Sit in the room by yourself and be like, "Are you there? Is anybody there? I'm just wondering. Do you know my name? Are you gonna get in the Spectre box?" It's like, Jesus Christ, no one's gonna play this game on their own, and unless you're playing it with friends that are gonna be laughing at your reactions, like, it's just a fucking stupid ass $15 game that you get on sale for $3 on Steam. If you have friends that you can play with it,
might be fun for a minute,
for like once or twice. But again, I'm not gonna be going to be like, "Oh, this is my favorite game. I love playing it."
Hello, Clarice.
Right in the dumpster.
It's good to see you again.
So yeah, that might have been like a more opinionated, play it or throw it away for me than usual, but that's how I feel. So throw it on the dumpster.
I love our play it or throw it away because like games that are like super popular, everybody loves. We just shit all over them, and those games deserve it. They deserve it. Like and subscribe.
They do. They deserve it.
Yeah, because they're fucking trash.
I just don't get it.
Before I catch a bunch of flame at the end of this week's podcast, let's move on to the next one.
Yep. Next.
We've got the Mansion of Hidden Souls initially arrived on which system, Tuneable? The man that has played this most recently?
Sega Saturn.
Guys, I'm not even gonna let Tune start. I'm just gonna start. Throw it away. I don't know what it is. I've never played it. I had a Sega Saturn for like a week and then I sold it.
Look, guys. All right. My memories of this game when I was a kid, I thought it were good. And then I streamed it a couple weeks ago. Oh,
not so good. Not so good.
It's not so good nowadays, guys. It is absolutely fucking terrible. I do not recommend you buying this unless you're just trying to collect every Sega Saturn game. Just skip it. There's a better version of the game called D. If you want a game like that one, get D. That is a much better version. But we're throwing it away. Game sucks. Go ahead.
If you want a game where you don't know what you're doing all of the time, not just part of the time, basically all the time, with terrible, terrible script, terrible.
Now we're talking. That's just the kind of game I was looking for.
And again, like, basically just being like, all right, walk into a wall. Oh, turn around. Oh, what am I looking for here? I don't know, because the game didn't tell me. It doesn't have any objective points. It just gives you some fucking basic ass idea of like a mystery of what you should be looking for. And not this is what you're looking for. This is what you could be looking for. And you're like, oh, never mind. That's not what I'm looking for. I guess I'll go look upstairs and try to find the next clue. If you love games like that, this might be your game. But if you're a gamer that has any idea of what they want to be doing in a game, this ain't for you, champ. This thing belongs right next to E.T.
Have a little bit of self-love and just don't play this game.
Yeah, don't take care of yourself.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Go out, start a business, mow your grass, do something, anything but play this game, please.
Spend time with your kids. Do anything. Just don't play this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're just gonna leave yourself more mad than having a good time.
Just go play fucking Mario or Sonic
Yeah.
or Spider-Man. Jesus.
Go grocery
yourself a
shopping.
break.
Hit up the Walmart. Get yourself some new socks or something. Like anything is better.
Still better.
But all right. Next.
Next one is kind of controversial. Some people really like this game. A lot of people are going to be, I think, on our side of this. The video game.
Okay. All right. So when I first started playing this game, I was like, this is kind of cool. And then after how fucking like ass pulley some of the traps were, is like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that? And you just die repeatedly over and over to stupid shit. You're like, there's no way I could have known that. The game gets super annoying, super fucking quick. Very poorly designed. I'll admit I did play it, but does that mean I would play it again? Probably not. I think I'm gonna throw that one away. I think if they made a Saw game and it was, well designed and they put some effort into it, I don't think enough effort was put into that game. I think they just tried to capitalize off what the movies have done and make money off of a game, but they failed.
I think with Saw, the video game, it doesn't even like capture the essence of the movie. Again, like
Yeah,
the
not
essence of the
entirely.
movie is like, again, you are in these traps and the traps have some reason for you to be in, and there's a life lesson that would be learned if you were to escape the trap, and you would enjoy your life better because of it. Or I mean, like, that's what the movies say. The game, however, treats it kind of like in the level of like Manhunt, where it really just feels like torture porn. It's not like it's being brought to your attention because it's like, again, something that you'll finish the game and be like, yes, and like I learned something from it. No, you get stuck in traps, you try to escape the traps, and there's like some semi-level of violence behind it all that gets people off. It's not a good game. The gameplay mechanics are trash. It's just overall, like, it doesn't even come close to watching a Saw movie. Even, like, again, the traps that you do get, like, if they go right or go wrong, it's like, again, it's a video game, so you're not going to get that same level of realistic, like, oh my god, that's so scary. It's, again, a polyfigural game that looks like trash.
Yeah, and
it
like,
was made on the Xbox 360. So
like 75 to 80% of the traps that killed me were like cheesy or fucking cheap. Like, there's no way you would have known, if I did this, it would kill me. There was no indicator. It's like you're just walking down a hall and all of a sudden you're dead. It's like, what?
So yeah, this game belongs with a lot of the other ones. It's going so far deep in the trash. I hope I don't ever see it again.
Guys, we actually do like Halloween. We promise.
I do. Absolutely.
We love it. Just not so many of the games are good this week.
Saul, I'm gonna throw in the garbage. I never played this bullshit. Like, I already when I saw it, I was like, this is a cash grab. This game's gonna fucking suck. So I didn't even bother with it. Trash. Goodbye. Done.
It's okay. It's gonna all be okay.
Go like and subscribe.
You guys here with me, and for you guys listening out there in YouTube, Twitch world, or listening on Spotify. Last game of our Play It or Throw It Away this week is a classic. It's Silent Hill.
Well, if you don't like this one, then you just don't like horror games, period. I mean, this is the definition of a good psychological horror game. Like, it does. I mean, nowadays it looks dated, and the dialogue is very horrendous. But the puzzles and the music, the soundtrack to the game is so eerie, and the fog constantly with the rackets going on because there's enemies near constantly, and you're like paranoid looking around where the hell the enemy is because it's there because you can hear the along with that ambient. It's just it's still good today. Like, even though it looks like shit, it is still a Fantastic.
This is the exact opposite of what Saw was. This is where the game was good and spawned a movie. Where the game is amazing, and for all the reasons Toon just said, like that was back in the day whenever I was like into the Resident Evil games. So like that genre of, you know, game was right up my alley at that moment. Like I was into that stuff, and Silent Hill checked all the boxes. It was creepy. The puzzle, like you had, like it was a little confusing at times. Like sometimes it was a little challenging to figure out what to go, but it made it all that much better when you did figure it out. So like there was a bit of a, you know, get frustrated but be rewarded later aspect to it. But I don't know. I beat it a couple times. I think once or twice when I was younger, and then maybe like 5 years ago I beat it again. But yeah, I'll play that one.
I'm a bit on the fence of this one. I don't not like Silent Hill. I do. I think it
it aged poorly.
A lot. It aged so poorly. That's my problem.
It did.
It's
horrible looking.
Like the gameplay mechanics themselves are so hard to handle. The sense of direction and what you should be doing at times is often very confusing. And like the save system is, again, it's not like you're opening up a menu and be like, I'm going to go save. You're going to find random journals in these various places, and there's never really any indication of where they are even after you visit them. So there is a lot of confusion to getting like your feet wet in this game. But as far as, again, the story goes and the isometric like camera angles, again, there's something about that pulls me to really enjoy the game. So I don't know if I would play it, but I would definitely watch somebody else play it, because then I don't got to deal with the frustrations of actually playing it. Which is kind of why I've been able to enjoy this title so much this month, guys, because Tuneable's been playing it on Twitch. And I've been watching him get massively frustrated at times.
Yeah.
It's not me.
At first stream, we watched him run around the city, just no clue what to do for like an hour.
I'm gonna run down the street, and then he gets to the end of the street and he realizes it's the wrong street, and he's like, "For fuck's sakes!" Like, and turn back around, and then there's a flying creature that comes and attacks him. He's like, "I got no bullets. What the fuck am I gonna do?" And he's like stabbing the air. So yeah, no, you know what? It's a great game overall.
Yeah, I think we all agree. Silent Hill. And it was the start of a lot of big things in the Silent Hill franchise. Obviously, it got a sequel game. It got movies made. You know, it became a very popular thing. I'd definitely play.
I really, really wish the PS4 title for Silent Hill PT ended up being a thing. I wanted that so bad.
It looked beautiful. That demo they put out was amazing. Unfortunate that we never got that. But that's going to be it for this week's Play or Throw It Away, guys. Next week will be the 30th. So it'll be our final Halloween Play It or Throw It Away. It'll be the last week of horror games. And then we will be doing a whole month of games we're thankful for. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. But yeah. All right.
Call of Duty all November long.
All right. So we're going to move on. So this is something we've been actually wanting to talk about for a couple weeks now, and that is breast cancer awareness. This is a big
Save the boobies.
Yes, I'm just kidding. Diablo 4. He's not Diablo 4 season 2 has been live for a couple days now. Started off rocky.
Yeah.
They had to delay it by a couple hours. People were not happy. But me and Maid have been playing it for the last couple of days, and I'm not gonna lie, we both watched the campfire chats. We saw all the updates and changes they made, the new bosses, the new mechanics for season 2. And after, I don't know how many hours I'd say I put in, so far it's definitely better than season 1 by a mile. And I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot of things they expanded on and added, and Ooh, there's a lot to talk about here.
I think just from like opening points from the initial campfires, because of the way that they wanted to address things bit by bit. We'll start from their initial kind of points of view. When they did their initial evaluation of what season 2 is going to entail, they ended up talking about, again, quality of life changes and how they wanted the game to feel, again, like not only was there going to be balance changes, but the reason why they were being provided in this season prior to the release of season 1 was because, again, either mechanics were not ready to roll out, or simply because, again, like they just didn't work to that point. When we look at season 2, and for, again, certain class aspects, again, they've done a lot of changes to make them work better. They've added reasons for, again, ancient aspects to have a reason to be used now versus never using them because they just didn't sit well within the class.
Yeah.
Resistance changes.
Huge.
Again, the horse, again, and the way that it was, again, not significantly effective in town, or again as far as, you know, going across the open world, because you would hit a wall and you couldn't just do anything about it. There are a lot of small changes that end up adding up altogether that make the experience overall a lot better. So I have to say, I have to appreciate what they're trying to do to at least get the game into a workable state where the things that were bothering us in, you know, Eternal or Season 1 are being addressed. Even if it's not everything at once, they are trying to tackle the things that were most important and were voiced by the people.
Yeah, they made a lot of little steps that added up into one huge step in the right direction. Having chests at every vendor, like not having to go halfway across the city to get your stash, like that big, huge quality of life. Being able to slam through those barricades, not have to jump off your horse to kill 3 skeletons. Huge quality of life. Being able to teleport straight to a nightmare dungeon and not be put outside of it to where you have to click on it and then watch another loading screen before you're in the dungeon. Just being teleported straight into the dungeon. Quality of life. Saves you time, improves the gameplay loop. And let's talk about some of the other things that are new this season. So we have the whole vampiric powers. We have something called blood harvest that pop up. And speaking of, well, before we get into that, world boss now is more frequent. It's like every 2 or 3 hours, and you get a little notification now that it's gonna happen. Same with hell tides. There's now notifications for those, and I just little things like that mean a lot, because in season 1 and upon release before season 1, I never knew when there was a world boss. I think I fought the world boss maybe twice in the first 4 months of the game being out, because I never knew when it was going to be around. I've already fought.
It was always a coincidental thing. You're like in the map already, and you're like, "Oh, what's that? I've never. Oh, like, why is that there?" And oh, there's a world boss. I'm go try and tackle that.
I haven't seen that in 2 months. But yeah, the vampiric powers, really cool. We'll talk about those a little bit. And the blood harvest, 2 very cool things compared to season 1. Malignant hearts are no longer a thing. It's gone. But I think it's for the better. I think these vampiric powers are amazing. I think it's game changing for a lot of builds.
I think by comparison, especially to season 1, with the malignant hearts and having, you know, the fact that there was only like, I think 12 altogether, but you could only realistically use 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And then the actual aspect of what they were offering, because there were a lot of them that were class specific. It wasn't like it was a broad, like, amount that each class could use. And if one of those maybe wasn't significant to your build, it would be like maybe you have 1 malignant heart that's really usable, and the other one's just kind of sitting there as like a situation. With the vampiric powers, again, you have a selection of, I think it's 14.
And you get to use 5 at once.
Yeah. So again, a lot more. They're not specific to class in this sequence. They are, again, multi-broad. So again, if there is something specific to one build, it could be carried over to another character that you're using later on. So you figure out what works and what doesn't work. And they are activated by having, again, other items that you pick up along the way that offer packs. The packs are going to be, again, a 3-part system.
Yeah.
And then each amount of packs that are put onto your items, and you can pick up packs as part of a consumable option, so you can apply these to your items as you need them, or you can use a medicine vial that'll take all of the packs away, so you can kind of build it back up on a custom piece of item. So if you get like a legendary that's better suited but it doesn't have the right packs, you can wipe it and then build it up to where your other one was already considered to be, advantageous to your build.
Another cool thing about these vampiric powers compared to the malignant hearts is it's not like a gem you socket in or anything like that. It doesn't take up an affix on your gear. You still have all your affixes and your gem slot. It doesn't take up anything on your gear. And the packs we're talking about have nothing to do with the affixes or gem slots on your gear. So you literally can use any gear you want the way you would normally use it, even if it wasn't season 2. If it was just the Eternal Realm, this is just added on. So you're really not, it has no effect on what you do with your gear, how you want to gear up your character, which makes it way better than the Malignant Hearts because those took up gem slots.
Yeah. And I think that in contribution to the vampiric powers, because of them being able to stack 5 at a time, having the additional gem slots, now you can apply resistances that actually function correctly.
Yes.
So again, certain things that weren't able to be done in prior seasons because there just wasn't the functionality behind it, or you were so squishy that, again, you were like, I'm not going to play this class, and this class.
Hashtag sorcerer.
At a later point.
Hashtag sorcerers are back, baby.
You're in a position where you have a lot more choice over the build that you wanted to use, a lot more choice over the function of your gem slots, and the damage buckets as well, because again, a lot of people were just stacking armor because of the fact that they were getting smushed. Now maybe if you wanted to attack or have more for your basic attack options, again, that's viable, or an all resistance using diamonds, that's viable. You're not forced to be like, I'm going to use flawless skulls and that's what I have to use, because if I don't, I'm going to die.
Yep. And that's really all you could do up until this season. And now your intelligence actually scales properly with your resistances. If you're any class, it doesn't matter. Specifically for sorcerers, it's very important for them because that's their main stat. And you actually have resistances. I think my resistance for my poison and cold is 70% and 68% right now. And I'm only level 50. That's crazy. But the blood harvest. We have to talk about the blood harvest. But before we do, the affixes, they changed a lot of affixes and they added some new ones. Added some really useful ones for almost all the classes. Might make some ways for some new builds to come out of the woodwork this season, especially with the vampiric powers and the way you combine them. For instance, with the sorcerer, there's a vampiric power called Hemomancy, and it takes your maximum life and does 61% of damage to something based on your maximum life, everything on the map. And say they're low level enemies, it'll just kill them automatically. And say you're using the fireball enchant with that, well, when something dies, it creates an explosion because of that. So Hemomancy goes really well with that fireball enchantment because it just automatically kills anything on the map that's low enough health, and then everything explodes. So it's a nice little synergy. But that's just one more thing with the vampiric powers. It's going to lead to a lot of, in some of these vampiric powers, it can actually scale with each other.
And I think that's the biggest problem that was with season 1 and what makes season 2 more fun.
Yeah.
And again, fun is the biggest point of playing a game like this. Again, if you're not having fun, you're going to drop off between the levels of 40 and 60 because, again, you've done what you need to and you're like, man. But with this one, the scaling of your levels, again, it does progress quickly. So you're getting closer to that midpoint end game point where you're like, okay, now I can get into these nightmare dungeons. Now I can get into these uber bosses. Now I can get uber uniques because they're a farmable option.
Yep.
So you're getting to a point where the game is more fun for you to play at an earlier point in the season. So you're
Yep.
not being like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just bored because again, it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. They finally added layers to why you're doing these things. The end game doesn't necessarily have to be one point of interest. Now the Hell Tides have a reason. The Nightmare Dungeons have a reason. The Vampiric Blood Hunts have a reason. They all add up to something in the end. And whether it's a uber boss or a unique or a function to get you a ton. And I say this like
a ton.
ridiculously a ton of legendary items and experience.
It's pretty insane.
You can min-max your build extremely quickly. It's
like awesome. So far this season, I've had a lot of fun. I'm playing a sorcerer, and you know, last season and in the Eternal Realm before season 1, like you were pretty much limited to maybe 1 of 2 builds, and you were super squishy. But I've found this season, I've been able to experiment a lot more with different things, like, you know, just trying different stuff out and finding ways to work it in with the vampiric powers and the new aspects that they've introduced and the way things scale with intelligence now. And there's a lot more experimenting and not just, well, you either use this build or you suck.
Yeah. I think as far as future seasons go, if they take the lessons that they've learned from this season and apply it to a future season with maybe a bit more on the creative end of like the storyline, much like season 1, is very lacking. I don't give a fuck about anything that the NPCs are really telling me along the way.
I skip it all.
The mechanics that happen in between are what's pulling an ARPG together. So I'm hoping that, you know, they learn from it, they carry on, they make enjoyable functions that I keep on adding on. But again, season 2 is killer.
For anyone that is gonna hop in and try season 2, don't overlook the Blood Harvest. You're gonna want to spend time in the Blood Harvest. The Blood Harvest, unlike Hell Tides, anything you collect while you're in there carries over, so you don't lose your whatever you collect while you're in there. If the Blood Harvest ends where you're at and it goes somewhere else on the map, if you go to that one, you'll still have all the things you collected from the one you were at previously, which is very nice. It's not like Hell Tides at all. So if you're thinking, oh, Blood Harvest, it's just another Hell Tide, it's not. You'll collect keys. There's these chests that look like fucking tombs or like coffins. I don't know. They're way bigger than your average chest in the game, but you're going to want to open those. And there's several events in the Blood Harvest. A lot of them being Trio Whispers, where you get your Trio Whisper favors, your Grim favors or whatever for Trio Whispers. So you'll collect so many Trio Whisper caches just from hanging out in the Blood Harvests and going around doing the different things in them. And there's one big event in the Blood Harvest that I'm not going to spoil, but if you got a couple friends or you just have a whole lot of resources yourself, you're going to want to do this one because it is the motherlode of legendary loot. But we're going to leave you to find that on your own.
Diablo 2 Season of Blood. It's live right now. Check it out.
Yeah, that Diablo 2, guys, massive improvement from season 1. They took a huge step in the right direction by taking many tiny steps, and I'm actually enjoying it. Who knows when it'll fall off and get boring, but we're gonna keep playing it and we'll let you know. But we're gonna move on to our final segment of the day. And if you're still here watching, guys, and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you doing with your life? Just go hit it. We'll wait a sec.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
All right. I think you guys got it. You hit it. I seen you. All right. Game deals of the week. All right. Who wants to go first? We got some deals for you guys this week. We got some spicy ones.
I'm going to start this one off. Again, keeping up with our Halloween event that we've been doing this whole month, I wanted to offer something that was, again, accessible and, again, fit our season of spook. So as we get closer to our most spooky of days, I've picked out another free title, and boy is it spoopy. So, available for free on the Epic Play Store until October 26th, we have The Evil Within, psychological horror made by the director of the Resident Evil series, Shinji Mikami. You play as Detective Sebastian Castellanos, seeking truth of a gruesome mystery that lives just beneath the surface. Every grotesque and imaginable horror that you could dream of sits within the Victoriano state, from zombies, vampires, witch-like creatures, barbed wire wrapped chainsaw monsters that erupt from the creatures' heads. And it's a bloody good time. Be afraid of every corner you turn, save your bullets, avoid traps that could leave you in a tough situation or worse. Breakneck pacing in this game and a droning soundtrack make The Evil Within a wonderfully terrifying experience for horror fans. But after all, we're all entitled to at least one good fright. I know that just from playing the title for a little while years prior and watching actually Chickeneck play it in years prior.
It was not long ago, maybe last year about this time I played it.
It was an awesome experience to watch again somebody else play, much like last week where me and Grease were talking about Slender. If you have Epic Game Store and you have friends that are willing to come over and you get them to attempt to try this is one of those games where you can either yourself find yourself pissing your pants, or you could film your friend pissing their pants, because it is terrifying. Every time you cut a corner, again, there's always a fear that something is there going to reach out and grab you. And again, when they do, there is just a visceral amount of violence or gore or, some frightening experience that just has you jumping out of your chair. Face your fears and face the evil within. Free on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, pissing your pants is a strange thing. It's always fun for everybody but the person who's pissing their pants.
I do it every stream. I piss myself every time I stream.
But all right. I guess I'll go next. Guys, I got one for you. It's on Steam. I've been doing a lot of Steam games lately. I gotta just delete Steam. If you guys are a fan of the DC universe, the comics, and you're a Batman fan, this one's for you. Batman Arkham Knight is currently on sale till November 2nd. It's 80% off. You can get it for $3.99. It's the conclusion to the trilogy of the Arkham games. It was exclusively developed for the newer gen systems. It's unlike the other two games. It's got the same mechanics. You'll have the entire city of Gotham at your disposal this time. Explore all of it. Scarecrow is going to return, and he's going to try to reunite all the super criminals of the city. It's got the same mechanics and gameplay as the first two. Couple new little gadgets and things and weapons. And the addition of the Batmobile. They created their own unique Batmobile for this game with its own unique gadgets and weapons and toys, which adds a little bit more fun to it. If you like the first two Arkham games, this is probably one of the I think this might be the most popular one of the three, if I'm being honest. I think I liked this one better than the other two, personally. So if you have the chance, it's $3.99 on Steam right now. If you're a Batman fan and you're a fan of this franchise, it's definitely a steal right now.
Honestly, the Batman Arkham series is probably one of the absolute best open world adventure fighting titles, because honestly, like, the story, the side missions, the gadgets you get, the directional fight options, they just absolutely opened up a world of games to copy and paste off of them. They did it perfect.
There's so much to talk about. I had trouble writing the game deal of the week because there was so much I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to take 10 minutes for my game deal of the week.
Fair. It's honestly fair. It's a great game.
You can take all you want.
Love that title.
It's a great game. All three of them, actually.
Speaking of 3, my game deal of the week includes 3 banging titles from back in the day that have been not remastered, but HD versions. And for a whopping $15.99, you can get the Spyro Reignited Trilogy,
Ooh.
which includes Spyro, the original, Spyro 2 Riptor's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. Over 100 levels between these 3 games. I mean, 100 levels of Spyro is enough to pay $15.99. Let's be honest.
That's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content for $16. And Spyro games are so fun, between the platforming, the puzzle solving, and playing as multiple characters. And it's just, I've went back and played them. They're great. Just give it a shot. If you've never played a Spyro game in your life, give it a shot. I'm sure they'll be on Game Pass here soon, but still, do it.
What's it on? The Switch right now?
Switch. Yeah, Switch, sorry. Sorry about
that. You're good. You're good. All right, guys. We got the Spyro collection. We got the Arkham games, and we got the Evil Within. I actually didn't get any further in Evil Within because between the game freaking me out and my Twitch chat just making it worse. I couldn't work up the balls to load that one back up.
Honestly, I understand.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode segments of the Gamestate podcast. Talking is hard, guys. Fuck. Just subscribe. Just go subscribe. We're leaving. We're out. Bye. Have a good one, guys.
Love you.